Okay, welcome everyone to Culture, Racism, and Alienation. I am your professor for the semester, Professor Garcia. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to look at my introductory video where I introduce myself and tell you a little bit more about me. In this video, I want to really go over the details of the course, the syllabus, our Canvas page, and so on. One of the things you should know about me, if you haven't already noticed, is that I am not the most tech savvy person. I also am not very keen on video recording myself, but teaching an online class, I think it's really important that students see me, even if it's just in a video recording, and get to know me a little bit and at least be able to put a face to the name and know who is the person behind all the Canvas stuff that you'll be interacting with this semester. So first, let me share my screen and go over the syllabus with you, which will you'll be able to find on the Canvas page as well. Okay. So hopefully you can see here, this is the syllabus. There will be a copy of this on the Canvas page where you can download the entire syllabus. And I encourage you to do that because this is what has pretty much everything you need to know this semester in order to be successful and keep at pace with the course throughout the semester. So here at the very top, you'll find sort of key information where my office is in the Plaza Building, Suite 102D. My email address is very important for you to know because that is the best way to communicate with me. I'll have office hours, both in person and via Zoom. Tuesdays from 10 to 11 a.m. I'll be on Zoom, so you're welcome to drop in to just talk, chat, get to know each other, or with any questions you may have at any point about the class. I will also have in-person office hours on Wednesdays from 2 to 3 p.m. So if you prefer to have office hours in person, you can drop by my office on Wednesday afternoons. If neither one of those times or days works for you, please email me and let me know when you'd like to meet, what days and times work for you, and I can try my best to work around your schedule. So starting out with the course description, in this course, we will explore how various racial and ethnic groups have been racialized as others in the United States, and the particular role of the media in contributing to this racialization. Using seminal theories on race and ethnicity from the field of comparative ethnic studies, we will investigate the process of racialization for different racial ethnic groups and why essentialist images such as the model minority for Asian Americans, hypersexuality for African Americans, illegal aliens for Latinos, terrorists for Arab Americans, and primitives for Native Americans have been historically and culturally produced and contested. So that in a nutshell gives you a sense of what it is that we're going to be talking about this semester and the approach we're going to be taking. I'm not going to read the whole syllabus to you. That I expect you to take the time to read the syllabus and familiarize yourself with everything in the syllabus. So again, if there's anything you don't understand, you have questions about, you can reach out to me and I can clarify things for you. Listed after that are the course goals and learning objectives. You can read those on your own. The online elements of this course, this is a very important section for you to look at. As it says, the course will take place synchronously via Canvas other than the assigned text. The rest of the content of the course, including additional readings and the lecture, will be available on our Canvas page. On Monday mornings, I will post the new page with the lesson for the week, which may include a PowerPoint lecture, links to any relevant videos or other documents, and links to any assignments that might be due that week. Each week will have its own page on Canvas where all of this information will be found, including any relative announcements for the week. I will make the page for the week we're in as the home page, so you don't have to go searching for it anywhere else, to make it easy to find each week. It's extremely important that you keep pace with the readings and assignments for each week so that you don't fall behind. You know, to make sure to look at the syllabus or the homepage for each week to make sure that you don't miss out on any due dates. For written assignments, and there are a few written assignments, it is your responsibility to proofread your work before handing it in. Any mechanical and formatting errors will detract from your grade. So it's important that you look over what you're turning in before you hit submit. I do not assign extra credit assignments. I also do not change the final grades once they have been submitted. Therefore, it is important that you apply yourself and do your very best in each of the assignments that you have during the semester. If you have any questions about your assignments, make sure to talk to me before turning in your papers to make sure that you have understood the assignment and are on the right track. And finally, as I mentioned, these are my office hours, and also the fact that if those times and dates don't work for you, to contact me and we can find another time to meet. I've listed here what assignments and what the points are for each assignment that you're going to have, and I will go into those assignments in detail. This gives you what my grading rubric is, in other words, what's an A, what's a B, and so on in the class. In this next section are the descriptions of the different assignments that you have. There are 2 introductory papers. The first part will be due within the first couple of weeks of class. This paper will be a 2-page paper responding to the prompt that you find here. And the prompt is for part 1. Every individual has multiple identities based on a number of factors, including race, class, and gender, among others. How have your identities and localized experiences shaped your knowledge about different racial ethnic groups such as whites, Latinxes, Native Americans, African Americans, Asian Americans, and Middle Easterners, okay? So this is completely a self-reflection paper. It's not an analytical paper. You don't have to quote or cite from anywhere else. It's really asking you about what your thoughts are about these groups and what has shaped your knowledge so far. At the end of the semester, you'll turn in part 2, where you revisit what you said in your first paper and think about how, based on your experiences in this course, how your knowledge about different racial ethnic groups has changed from where you began the semester, okay? All papers for this class should be typed 12-point font, double-spaced in a Word document or PDF and uploaded to Canvas. Okay, part 1 will be due by September 5th by 11:59 p.m. on Canvas, and part 2, as I said, won't be due until the end of the semester. Okay. There are also 2 response papers throughout the semester that you will have to do. These papers will be 3 to 4 pages long. Also, like I said, 12-point font, double-spaced, uploaded either in a Word document or a PDF document to Canvas. And the prompts for these 2 papers will be available on Canvas at the beginning of weeks 6 and 10. And there are the due dates for those 2 response papers, one in October and one in November. There are also 3 discussion posts that you will have to do. The first discussion post will be an introductory post where you will be asked to introduce yourself to the rest of the class. The questions for posts 2 and 3 will be based on the reading or lecture assigned for that week. Your responses should be thoughtful and in-depth, using examples from the material of the week. So you should, engage with, what you read or saw in the lecture for that week. In other words, your post should not be, I really liked what we read this week. Okay, really get more in depth as to something that stood out to you, questions that you have, or so on. Okay, and there will be more directions on those posts when we get to them. Finally, there will be 2 quizzes. There will be a midterm quiz and a final quiz. These will consist of true/false questions and will cover material from the readings and lectures. The midterm will cover weeks 1 to 8, and the final week will cover weeks 9 through 16. The midterm will be due by October 17th, and the final will be due by December 17th, 11:59 p.m. If you have any questions about any of those assignments or anything isn't clear to you, again, make sure to either email me or attend one of the office hours. I will be having office hours this first week of class. Following that section are all the different course policies. So make sure you look at this section closely, especially on late work and incompletes. I will accept late work, but you need to let me know ahead of time that something's come up, that something's preventing you from turning in your assignment on time. And there will be deductions for any assignments that are late. As far as incomplete grades at the end of the semester, you should read this section carefully. It pretty much follows whatever the university policy is. In terms of communicating with me and my email policy, as I've mentioned multiple times already, email is the best way to communicate with me. You should be aware, however, that I check my email Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and sparingly on weekends. Therefore, you should not expect quick responses from me if you email after 5 p.m. on weekdays or during the weekends. Communication is key when it comes to any issues or challenges you may be having that prevent you from attending class, online, turning in an assignment on time, or may impact your overall performance in class. Communicating with me as early as possible when confronted with an issue will ensure that I can work with you to maximize your success in the course. If you wait until the end of the semester to tell me that you've been having some kind of issue, some kind of challenge throughout the semester, and that's why your performance in the class isn't great, by the end of the semester, it's too late, okay? But if you tell me ahead of time as things are happening, then we can figure out a plan to make sure that you can still be successful in the class, okay? Accommodations for students with disabilities, there's the information of who to contact and what to do. I'm more than happy to make the accommodations. So we just have to make sure that we go through the proper channels, registering with disability resources and services and so on. Religious and holiday accommodations. Faculty here throughout the system will provide reasonable accommodations to students who must be absent from class because of religious holidays. So if this applies to you, there are no religious holidays that prevent you from turning in an assignment on time. Again, communicate with me early enough and we can figure out a way to work around it. Here's a reminder of the Student Code of Conduct. Again, following what the Code of Conduct is for the University of Colorado at Denver. And those are the majorities of the policy stuff that you should be aware of. Again, make sure to read through all of this very carefully, make sure you understand it, and that if you need any clarifications, then you contact me. Okay, getting to the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of the class. There is one required text for this class. It is called Getting Real About Race. It is important that you get the second edition, which is the most recent edition. I have ordered books through the college bookstore. I have asked the library to purchase the book. They don't currently have it, but once they receive it, they will be putting it on reserve for the class, so you can have access to it there. And I've also included here the link to Amazon. And so you have multiple outlets for which to get your text. Any additional readings are not in McClure and Harris, which are the editors of the collection. You'll see McClure and Harris throughout the syllabus. If there isn't a reading in McClure and Harris, everything else will be available as PDFs on Canvas, okay? And then after that, you have your course schedule telling you what you're supposed to do every week, what's due, and so on. So for example, this is our first week of class, okay? Class, for me, the week starts on Monday and it ends on Sunday. I did it like that purposefully to give you some weekend time in case your schedule is too busy during the week to do the work for class. You have some weekend time to do the work as well, okay? So by the end of this week, by August 29th, your activities to do for this class are to read the syllabus and the discussion post guidelines, and I'll show you those in a moment, and to watch these videos, the intro videos for class. Your first assignment that is due by August 29th is your first discussion post, okay? And all that asks you to do really is to introduce yourself, and there'll be some questions for you to answer, but it should be pretty simple. Just tell us about yourself, okay? And you'll see moving forward, every week it tells you the week dates, when the week ends. Here, for example, on week 2, from McClure and Harris, which is the test book, you should read essay number 1, and also this essay by Omi and Wenant, which is on Canvas, okay? Your intro paper part 1 is due by September 5th. You should also watch the PowerPoint lecture. For every week, I will be posting a PowerPoint lecture where I discuss key aspects of the reading and provide any supplemental material as well, okay? And that is basically the pattern for the entire semester. The first couple of weeks, we'll be talking about terms and concepts that we should be aware of. And then we talk about different racial ethnic groups for a couple of weeks. We start week 4, constructions of Blackness for week 4 and 5. We'll discuss cultural appropriation on week 6. Then we move to talking about Native Americans for week 7 and week 8. As I keep scrolling down, week 9 and 10, we'll talk about Latinx representations. Week 11 and 12, we'll talk about constructing Asian Americans. Week 13 and 15 are racializing Arabs and Muslims. Week 14 is our fall break, so there will be no class. And on the final week, we'll talk about allyship, and then your final quiz will be due during finals week, okay? So that's the syllabus pretty much. If you have any questions about anything on the syllabus, again, email me or visit office hours. Okay. Now let me share the Canvas page. There we go. So that you can see where everything is going to be. So on our homepage, every week, you will see a similar kind of pattern at the homepage. There will be any announcements that I may have. This announcement here is just introducing myself with an older picture of myself when I had more hair. Here are the social media accounts that I mentioned in the previous video. This, again, tells you everything you need to know for this week. You'll have a section like this every week that says this week's readings. And for this week, make sure to read all of the syllabus material found here. In the syllabus section, there's a course description. Here is the link to download the full syllabus that I just showed you. I also pulled some of that material from the syllabus for easy access into separate pages, like the class structure and assignments, the course policies, and the online elements of the course. I created pages for those. It's the same material that's on the syllabus, but just in case you need to reference it, this hopefully makes it a little bit easier. Going back to the homepage. You also need to read for this first week the discussion post guidelines, which I found here. You click on week 1 class introduction and it takes you to the modules page. In the modules, what you'll find for each week are any readings that are not in the textbook. So for this semester, you have, for this week, in addition to the syllabus, this is the additional reading that you have to do. For week 2, this is the Omi and Wanand article that I mentioned before, and so on and so forth for each week, okay? If there's a week that you see missing, like week 6, there's nothing here listed for week 6, that means that that week, the readings all come from just the textbook, okay? It's not that anything is missing. Okay, going back to the home page. So that is what you'll see for readings. As I say here on the syllabus page, you will be able to download the syllabus. You should read the syllabus weekly. I take great care to ensure that all of the information you need to be successful in this course is available on the syllabus. So you should make sure to familiarize yourself with all of the policies as well. I didn't know is not a satisfactory excuse when you can easily find most of the information you need either on the syllabus on Canvas or by asking me any questions via email or attending office hours, okay? You'll find every week this section, this week's video. In the following video, I will go over the syllabus where everything can be found on Canvas. And you don't see the video here because it's the video that I'm currently recording. That will be found here. There will also be a section on this week's lecture, which would have then a PowerPoint, a link to a PowerPoint with the lecture for that week, and the assignment section. And for this week, your assignment is for discussion post number 1. You would click that, that would take you to the discussion post, and you would do your assignment there. So this is what it's going to look like every week. Week 2, there will be an announcement section, there will be a reading section, there will be a lecture or video section, and if there are any assignments due for week 2, those will be here, okay? Again, if you have any questions about how any of this works, let me know and reach out. Over here on the side, if you're not familiar with Canvas, you'll find pretty much everything that you need in the pages section. This is where you have week 1, but if you go to view all pages, you'll find listed all the things that there's a page for, okay? If you don't see it, this is my view. If you don't see it, it's because it's not published yet, okay? And I think that's pretty much it. Other than for the Zoom office hours, you will find those in the Zoom section for class, okay? So if you find these meetings on your calendar on Canvas, it doesn't mean that we're meeting. It just means that this is when the office hours are. So if you want to attend office hours that Tuesday, this is where you would find the link to the Zoom meeting. Okay, so let me get out of Canvas. And the final thing that I want to share with you is that those discussion post outline guidelines that you will find on Canvas. Here we go. And I like to create guidelines for all of my classes at the beginning of the semester, just to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of how we're going to speak to each other, especially when talking about challenging and difficult topics, okay? So just to go over these very quickly, when writing your discussion post responses, make sure to do so respectfully, the same way that you would engage in discussions in an in-person course. Speak from your personal experience, use I statements to share thoughts and feelings. I encourage you to read each other's discussion posts, do so respectfully, seeking to understand and without judgment. I have enabled in the discussion post for you to be able to respond and like each other's responses. Respond to ideas and not to individuals, meaning challenge the ideas presented if you disagree with them without making judgments about individual qualities. Be open to new and different perspectives and practice both and thinking. This isn't just for discussion posts, but really for the entire course content. Take risks, lean into discomfort. There might be times that you will reading some things or hearing some things in lecture or seeing things that people are posting in our discussion posts that might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. This is asking you to lean into that discomfort. It's usually when we're feeling uncomfortable that where we're doing the most learning. Trust that through dialogue, we will reach deeper levels of understanding and acceptance, and don't be afraid to ask questions and clarifications. So again, this is what the discussion post guidelines, I just went through them quickly. That's what the other reading assignment you're asked to look at this week. And again, send me any questions or concerns you may have about the discussion post guidelines. If there's anything that you want to add to those guidelines or to change, let me know, and I can certainly do that and repost the guidelines to the class. So that is what the course is about, and that is what we're going to be doing throughout the semester. Like I said, if there's anything that I've talked about today that isn't clear to you, I went over it too quickly, or you're not sure about, send me an email or come visit me during office hours this week. Tuesday, 10 to 11 a.m., I'll be on Zoom. Wednesday afternoon, I'll be in my office from 2 to 3 p.m. Okay. Again, welcome to the start of the semester. Welcome to the class. And I look forward to reading all your introductory posts this week. Take care.